Edson Arantes do Nascimento, formerly known as Pele, was one of the world's finest footballers to ever grace any football pitch that he stepped onto. Starting his playing career at the age of 16 for Santos in Brazil. From 1956 to 1974, he made 605 appearances and scoring 1,281 goals. From 1975 to 1977, he played for New York Cosmos, where he made 64 appearances and scored 37 goals, and an absolutely fantastic international career to top it off. Now, what I would like to know is, can we create Pele's playing career, and can we find any changes maybe? So come and join me in this experiment. I'm really looking forward to this one. I am so excited about this experiment. Pele at the age of 15 years of age, and those attributes are ridiculous. He's such a good player, and actually it does say here he is available on a free transfer. He isn't playing for anybody at the minute, so I'm curious as to who he's going to sign for first. Will he sign for Santos like he did in real life and spend all those years making 605 appearances, 1,281 goals? Will he recreate that playing career, or will he sign for somebody else? Maybe somebody in Europe will scout him straight away and sign him up. Let's jump ahead to a 20-year-old Pele 5 years into the future and see what he's doing. And Pele does actually find himself at a club, and it's actually a club in Brazil, but it's not Santos, it's São Paulo. Now, just looking at his attributes as a 20-year-old, he is thriving, as you can see. So just whilst we are looking at this, he is at São Paulo as mentioned, so a very good stepping stone for this young man at the age of 20 years of age. And as we can actually see, there isn't a lot to look at within São Paulo, but his current ability is sitting at 162, but his potential ability will max out, hopefully at 200. So in total so far for Pele at the age of 20, he has made a total of 132 appearances across two clubs, scoring 61 goals and having 34 assists. But he did actually start in the Brazilian long league for a club called Ferroviária, and he did sign for them on a free transfer before signing for São Paulo for only £58,000, not million, £1,000. And he is still playing in the 28 season at the minute, so those statistics probably will change. We'll come back to them in just a little while. And one thing to take note of is the fact that Pele has actually been called up to the Brazilian first team for this year's World Cup South American qualifiers. So only at the age of 20, he has been recognised whilst playing for São Paulo, and it's good to see that he's actually hitting the international stage at quite a young age. I wonder just how far he can go at an international level. So before we jump ahead to a further 5 years into Pele's career, just have a look at the supporters player of the year between 2023 and 2026. 4 years on the bounce for his respective club that he was playing for at the time. Absolutely fantastic. He did also help São Paulo win the Copa Libertadores in 2026 before almost winning the South American Recopa, as São Paulo could only finish as runners-up in 2027, but he did pick himself up a gold medal in the Olympic Games for Brazil under 23s. Let's have a look 5 years ahead. Will he still be at São Paulo, or will he move elsewhere around the world? But we are now 10 years into this experiment, and Pele is now 25 years of age. And if you have not noticed already, he is no longer at São Paulo. Oh no, he is at Spanish giants Real Madrid. That's right, Pele has signed for Real Madrid. Now, just before we dig a little bit deeper into how well he's been doing with the Spanish club, have a look at those attributes. He is a dominant force on his own, and to be fair, I'm not really surprised that he's signed for a club like Real Madrid. He is exceptional. So Pele actually signed for Real Madrid not long after we actually jumped ahead 5 years, and he signed for Madrid for 33.5 million. And within those 5 seasons, he has actually scored 93 goals with an average rating of somewhere in the region of 7.6 across each season. He really is turning into a real world beater. But I'm also curious as to just how many trophies, if he has, how many trophies he has won with Real Madrid. So it all seemed to happen quite quickly for Pele in 28-29 after he joined up with Real Madrid. He actually managed to score his first international goal for Brazil against Chile at the age of 21 before lifting the Spanish Cup, the Spanish First Division La Liga and the Club World Cup in that very same year. 2030 was pretty much the same. Every single trophy that was available in Spain, he managed to pick it up. And 2031, he helped Real Madrid to secure a runners-up medal in the Champions League. So not a bad season. However, as you can see in 2032, he actually managed to lift the Champions League with Real Madrid, as well as the La Liga title and the UEFA Super Cup. And he also won the Champions League again with Real Madrid in 2033, as well as the Spanish Super Cup. With 32 appearances and 14 goals to his name already for Brazil, I'm a little bit curious to find out whether Pele can actually help Brazil win the Copa America or even potentially the World Cup. So we're going to jump ahead another 5 years where Pele will now turn 30, and we'll see just how well he has done. Well, 5 years on, 30 years of age, Pele is still at Real Madrid in Spain, valued between £100 to £36 million up to £408 million. He must be the highest valued player in the world at this present state. 80 caps for Brazil, 44 goals. Let's have a look to see how he's got on in the last 5 years. Since Pele actually joined Real Madrid, he has made over 280 appearances for the Spanish Giants and scored 184 goals for his team. I tell you what, that has made a massive difference to the club, and you do wonder why actually, as to how they've actually won so many Spanish League Cups, titles, championships. Well, Pele has contributed considerably, and I wasn't actually joking. Every single season to date since he's actually joined Real Madrid, Pele has helped Real Madrid win a trophy every single season. Even in season 2034, Spanish First Division champions, Spanish Cup winners, 2035 Spanish First Division champions, Spanish Super Cup winners, and the list goes on. But the one that I've actually taken note of is the Copa America Winners' Trophy with Brazil in 2036. But upsettingly, no World Cup title as of yet. So I mentioned about the Brazil best 11, where Pele has actually made 73 appearances, scoring 40 goals with an average rating of 7.42 across this year. And this has been quite a running fixture for Pele over the last few years, being induced into the Brazil's best 11 across that calendar year. Now, if he isn't in the starting 11, then he has been around it, and this has been going on since the last 10 years, going back to 2028, where Pele was actually introduced formally to the Brazil international first team. And then, as we mentioned earlier, he actually scored his first competitive goal against Chile at the age of 21. So this man really has made not only a difference at a club level, but also on an international scale. Now, I reckon there is a World Cup in here somewhere, there's a World Cup victory in here somewhere, but we have just seen that Pele has contributed to some form of success for Brazil by winning the Copa America. It was a group that consisted of Costa Rica, Argentina and USA for Brazil in the Copa America group stage, with a 3-0 win against Costa Rica. Vinicius Jr., Ramon Erdhardt and Savia scoring the goals for Brazil before a fantastic 4-1 win against arch rivals Argentina. Endrick scoring 2 goals, Pele getting on the score sheet in the 44th minute, and Thiago wrapping the game up before Argentina scored a consolation goal. But it was a closer encounter for Brazil, who could only manage a 3-2 win against USA. Goals from Rick, Pele and Savio securing a quarter-final tie against Paraguay, which was won 5-0. Pele scoring a brace for Brazil in the quarter-finals before they went on to meet Uruguay in the semi-finals. No goal for Pele this time around, but Savio and Hendrick securing the vital win for Brazil. Before, it was a fantastic round-off for the Copa America, for Brazil beating USA, which they've already done in the group stages 3-2, but this one was more convincing in the Copa America final. Goals from Ramon Earhart, Pele and Rick with a brace, beating USA 4-1, a first Copa America win for Brazil in this experiment, and also for Pele. So Pele is now 35 years of age, and surprisingly he is still playing for Real Madrid even at this age, and he's still making regular appearances for Brazil. 92 caps and 50 goals scored for his international team. His attributes are starting to drop down a little bit now, especially his physicals, but his technical and mental attributes are still fairly high. He's quite phenomenal when you actually take a step back and just look at the stats from over the last 15 years that Pele has actually contributed to Real Madrid, making so many appearances, actually 437 league appearances and scoring 268 league goals for the Spanish Giants. And even at the age of 34, 35, he is still scoring goals. Okay, in the last 5 seasons, the goals have started to sort of die down a little bit, they have started to slow down. But even now, every single season that he's contributed, 13 goals in his most recent season, 15 before that, 18 twice in the last 2 seasons prior to then, and 20 goals in season 38-39. Even at this grand age, he is still a world-known goal scorer. And it would also appear that Real Madrid have still been winning titles and trophies and cup finals with Pele playing up top. I'm only assuming he's playing as a striker or an attacking centre forward, but every single season they've won some form of trophy, even if it is the Spanish Super Cup in 2042 and the Champions League the season before then in 2041. The most that they've actually succeeded, however, was in season 2040, where they won the Spanish Super Cup. They finished runners-up in the Spanish Cup. They did win La Liga, and they also finished runners-up in the Champions League. And we'll just have a look at the Champions League in a minute, because in 2041 they did manage to win the UEFA Champions League, and we'll have a look at that right now. And as mentioned, it was cup final defeat for Pele and Real Madrid, as they were beaten on penalties by AC Milan. The very next season after that, it was Champions League cup final success for Pele and Real Madrid, as they managed to beat Newcastle United 1-0. Lebrew, the only goal scorer in the 42nd minute, added another trophy to Pele's already prestigious career. Now, whilst Brazil haven't actually won another trophy in the likes of the Copa America or the World Cup, Pele is still in and or around the best 11 for at least 3 out of the following 5 seasons from 38, which we did have a look at last time, and even in season 2039 he is still going up top for Brazil, making 5 appearances, scoring 4 goals in 39. The season after, he was only able to make the subs bench in the best 11, making 7 appearances, only scoring 2 goals. But in season 41, however, he wasn't even involved. He wasn't mentioned in the world best 11 for Brazil, and this was the year of the World Cup. Now in 2042, again it was the same as before, no mention of Pele whatsoever, so the regions of Brazil are starting to creep on through as Pele starts to age a little bit. However, in this most present season, in 2043, Pele was moved into a midfield position for the international side, making it a whole 92 appearances, and bearing in mind that this international phase is still going on whilst Pele is still playing and scoring 50 goals in his international career. And what I would like to know before we wrap up this video is we are going to jump ahead a final 5 seasons. 1 or 2 things are going to happen. Pele's either going to retire and hopefully go into some form of other career on the game. Maybe he's a scout, as a coach, as a manager, or he will still be playing as a 40-year-old. And if he is still playing, will he still be at Real Madrid, or will he go elsewhere? Let's jump ahead another 5 years, a final 5 years, and let's find out, shall we? Well, there you have it. He actually retired as a player at the age of 37 after making 501 appearances for Real Madrid and scoring a total of 277 goals. And across his entire career, he didn't actually make the same amount of appearances that he did for his real playing career when he was playing for Santos. He did make a total amount of 641 appearances across all 3 clubs, with the majority coming from Real Madrid, scoring 342 goals. What a career this man has had. The majority of it, 17 whole years, being spent at Real Madrid, and he has had a sublime pathway to actually becoming what is still today known as a legend, not just in the game but within real life as well. And to be fair, he probably couldn't have done much more than that, but I'm surprised that he hasn't actually taken a role further within the game, whether it might have been a scout or a coach or even a manager. He's just sort of retired. But maybe in the future, maybe he might actually come out of retirement and actually take up another role. But I've quite enjoyed having a look at this brilliant legend of the game. The Pele himself is an absolute legend to us all, not just in the game but also in real life. So many consider him as a role model, as a leader when he was around. And that draws us to the conclusion of this experiment. Now, if there is another legend of the game that you guys would like me to have a look at to recreate their career, I've got a few ideas in mind, then let me know in the comments section. If you have liked the video, then please let me know by hitting that like button. And if you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel for many more experiments to come. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Really do appreciate all of the support that you guys have gave me since I've restarted up my channel. I really do love and enjoy doing these type of videos. Thanks very much again, guys. I'll see you all soon.